I told you, this guy's a genius.
Self-proclaimed, maybe.
Well, as long as it works for him.
Exactly my point.
Awesome. Questions need to be asked and answered. Okay, just went to a friend. He cut my hair because he said I look like, socially, it's like, I think you're making people anxious. You look like a street dog. Well, maybe I am. Okay, I have to discuss something now because I just left the house and then there was somebody and he came closer and he asked me questions and he said, can I ask you a question? Sorry, can I ask you a question? I said, normally if somebody approaches me, I just want to keep going. I just want to walk away from everyone. He said, can you put, I'm just gonna try to translate what he just said to me in German into English. He said, can you put, we're talking about a car here, or we're talking about anything. We're talking about a car. You've got these brake blocks, and then you've got, actually he said the rims. Wait a second. So if you've got a tire, now I'm already forgetting what he said. This is what happens when you're in flow. People come to you, they say something, or you feel a certain way, but because you're in flow, you're constantly letting go. You're constantly letting go of everything that happens to you. It's like left, right, straight. And then once you walk straight, because first you thought left and then right, and then you just decided on straight, and then you walk straight, and then you think, wait a second, did I just go left? And did I then go right? Because now I'm walking straight. And this is basically my life. Every step I take, I remember I just visited the friend, because I can check in the mirror, oh yeah, he did that. But maybe in 5 hours, I will have forgotten that he did this. And then I always have to remember, because when you're really in flow, which means the energy is flowing, which means that you just, you're flowing back into the ocean, or you are already in the ocean. There was another feather, always pointed out. Remember the feathers when you're walking, because I have nothing else to hold on. There are too many sticks, but feathers occur occasionally. There's like, now there's a feather, now there's none. And now let me ask you a question. He said that if you have a broken, I'm just gonna brake block. I don't know what the English word for this is. So these blocks that your car uses to apply pressure on this disc, you know that it breaks, right? And they wear down, of course, or they break, and at some point you have to replace them, otherwise you're going to ruin not the rims, but you know what I mean, this disc in the tire. And he asked me, it was a pretty random question, but there's a message in there which I'm now trying to disintegrate. So I have to translate what he said, because there was he gave me this. He gave me this. Just the question, and now I have to sit with the question. So when you listen to my content and you feel like there was a question, first of all, what you have to realize, this question then is specific for you. It's possible that nobody else will have this question, but if you solve it, you may help others to solve it as well, because if I progress, you progress, right? I learn how to slackline. You know, this is the morphogenetic field, which means we're all connected. This is about this guy called Rupert Sheldrake. You know, he's the main guy who talks about this, which is morphogenetic fields. The idea is they've done research with rats, and if you train, what they found was that if you teach rats, let's say in New York, how to solve a maze, and then you teach them in Tokyo, and then you teach them elsewhere and elsewhere and elsewhere, that the more often you teach rats to solve the maze, the same maze, they will be able to solve it faster. And now the question I just received was, if the brake blocks, you know what I mean, or let's call them brake bars of your car break, is it better? Do you wait? I just have to think about, this is something about hate, apparently. Okay. Aha! Now I'm starting to understand. Okay. In order to brake when you drive in a car, you need a material that's going to be disposable, which is the brake block. The brake block's gonna wear down. I have been given a new body, and people don't understand who I am anymore because I'm not the one they remember. And that happens every day. Like every day I feel like I kill myself for art, and then I wake up the next day, I'm somebody else. They can't keep track of it. You know, they don't understand how I can progress in the way that I do. But I can't understand that either. All I can say is that, well, the truth is, I have a lot of energy available. And what's the true truth? The true truth, I have energy available. Why? Because I preserve my energy. I don't go to parties. I don't talk basically with anyone. I have no internet in my apartment. I have sorted out my diet. You know, when I eat something, I make it myself. What else is there to say? I have basically eternity all the time. I mean, I'm living in infinity. And every time I go through infinity, I meet people, and for these people it's like, you know, to them I've already died. And then suddenly I'm there again, and they don't understand how this is working. Because I'm doing things because, you know, that's what you have to get. You know, what's madness? You know, I'm rushing through time and space, and everything's passing left and right and left and right, and I'm just leaving everything behind. And then at some point I just propel myself out of this boom loop. You know, that's what I call breaking the 8. Breaking the 8, my friend. This is this video, of course. Breaking the 8, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you're in a loop, in a habitual loop, in a loop of thought, of character. You know, I'm in the loop of my character. And I have no problem to kill certain habits if I feel like they hinder me now. Like smoking cannabis helps me sometimes. I can take the habit of smoking cannabis and then I can put it to rest. But, you know, when I just had the habit of smoking cannabis, you know, and I say no, I want to stop, I'm still living life in an 8, which is, I'm going in circles, which is why every time I come to a certain place, in myself where I feel a certain way, I pick up a certain habit, which is a method, which is also, you can call it a thought pattern, that I had until then. And, you know, you can always keep doing the same thing over and over again, or you just say stop. You know, that's what I've been doing all the time now. And what I have to do now is break the 8. Because if you want to live infinity in the habit of smoking cannabis, for instance, or just getting drunk or whatever, or being obese, or, you know, whatever you want, you know, it's your choice to live in this kind of loop, which is a spiral. And any spiral, you know, you don't know, you know, it can go upwards or downwards, depending on the direction it's turning, right? But what I'm trying to say is, how do you break the 8? Well, how to break the 8 is you just have to follow your feeling. You know, you're looking for a way out. And I constantly find myself in places that seem like a prison or a trap. And why is that so? Because I'm not here for myself only. I'm here to do a certain job. I'm here to do something. But every time I do something for someone else, I lose myself in this job, which is sometimes I have to be a certain way. And when I am this way, I have to remember to stop being like this. So now I was kind of trapped in madness and living this, you know, I'm the barbarian lunatic. And, you know, I don't brush my teeth, you know, that's all right, I think. I cut my hair with scissors so I look like a madman. And the problem is, how long can you maintain it? And because I just, you know, it just has to be this way. I discard my body, but I don't hurt myself, you know? I don't, you know, I have had friends who took psychedelic mushrooms and they were alone at home, and then they took like double dosage, and then they smoked cannabis, and then he took a giant knife and cut open his entire arm. And that's when madness takes hold of you and you start hurting yourself, or you start landing in some kind of psychiatric hospital. Now it's not that I learned it, but I simply maintain some kind of active, you know, basically non-violence. You know, I may appear violent to you if I walk around and my hair is cut like this, but that's the amount of madness I allow myself to show to the world, you know. This system, this world is driving me insane, and I don't care anymore what I do. You know, I don't have toilet paper, you know, I have it because someone gave me some, but I wash my rear above the shower, which I find much cleaner. But if you go and say that to someone, they're gonna say you're insane, and that hurts my feelings if I let it get too close to me. So what do? Well, I simply learn to deal with it, that other people are very inconsiderate and they don't give a shit about how I feel. Now, if me cutting my hair with my scissors and looking to you like a maniac, wait, I have to think where I was going with this. If me cutting my hair with my scissors makes you worry about life, then you should ask yourself what you are so worried about. Because it's not my fault that you don't like my haircut. You know, it's your fault that you are so inconsiderate and that you just project your dislike, you know, and your insecurity you feel towards your own hair onto me. And I simply know that if I go to people, even people that I would, you know, I would say I don't really have friends, but there's people that accept me, and one of them just cut my hair. You know, you could call it a favor, but it also helped him because then he feels that, you know, I can do something for you. But, you know, I don't need it but it's true. I was wearing my madness on the outside. And if you do that, yeah, I always do that anyway, you know, that's not gonna change because it's just pouring out of my eyes. Because that's what the yin and yang is. I mean, you hear it the way I talk. I mean, I can drive people insane just by opening my mouth. I don't even have to attack them. Just because I'm talking and I talk so fast and I switch pace so frequently, you know, it's just driving them insane because they don't know where left and right is anymore. And it's like, you know, I'm just dealing out punches because truth is like a punch. So, you know, I don't even know where I started. I mean, I have it all in here. You know, I kind of know where I started, but in order to tell you now that I know where I started, I would have to say it all again. And that's really annoying, because if I have to repeat everything that I said, you know, I'm never going to get anywhere. So the only thing that I can do is simply accept the chaka chaka boomba. But immer auch keine Frisbee. Nee. Yeah, anyway, you know, it's like there's a lot of stuff happening and you never know, you know, where you want to go with this.